Yo, what's up, dudes? It's my bro right there.
Are you sure there's enough distortion?
Lame. Look, it's all I got, okay?
Any stock questions you wanna? How do you wanna go about?
Yeah. If a train leaves New York, so what do you didn't have it with you? He took the bike over today, so he couldn't carry the guitar. But you got a Fender American Standard Strat that you've had since what, 92, 94?
A long time now. I think it's like either 91 or 92.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. As far as I know, I think it's.
And that's got the satin neck, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's got the satin.
It does.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth. I got a couple with satin. I got a couple with gloss. I'm gonna make a bold statement right now. I think I like the gloss. I'm just sort of used to it, I kind of, I go back and forth. I got a couple of non-glossy.
You took that Kramer of yours that you used to own, now that you have again in the different guise.
Right.
And you took that Kramer and you sanded down the back of your neck on that one.
I scalloped the Ibanez.
I know. That was, and then the scallop board that I had, and
In fact, you're the one who told me, you're like, all you need is a couple of bastard cut files. I'm like, tell me more. And that weekend I went down
you
to
did it
Sears.
instantly.
Yeah, and then I showed up on Monday and I was like, I did the guitar, and you're like, what?
I had mine done for two bills, and you did yours. And
oh yeah, they found rosewood there like
years
and years later. There was rosewood everywhere because it comes off like a powder.
Yeah, it comes off that fine.
Right.
So
it's such a hard.
Maybe it was part toxic.
So then you got like an Ibanez Jazz, right? I
got an Ibanez archtop. I should probably make a video and send it to you. I bought an Epiphone Les Paul that a kid put a P90 pickup in the bridge, P90 pickup in the neck position, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got a couple guitars that I want to try to unload, and I'd like to do a build of a double neck. I'd like to do a build of a double neck with fretted and slide on the top.
Oh, yeah, okay. So one would have a higher nut cut.
Yeah, I want to just have a high. I mean, you don't necessarily need huge action, but it's easier for the novice. I still consider myself a novice slide player. You see,
bring a slide?
I did. I brought a slide.
Where is it?
It's over there. Are we gonna switch to the slide lesson?
What the hell are you doing?
We're gonna switch to the slide lesson right now.
Go get that slide. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Bro.
Unprofessional.
Unprofessional.
Should I have had it in my pocket?
I don't know. Pocket? Listen to you. Where are you from?
New York.
New York. Long Island.
Now I'm just gonna switch. If I'm switching to slide, I just gotta drop this in open E.
Oh. Listen to you.
I'm gonna drop it in open E and we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna switch to slide lesson. We'll switch to slide. All right.
Okay.
Now the first thing you need to do, right, is get this puppy here.
Whoa.
Get a piece of foam so the slide is nice and comfy is what I'm trying to say. So the first thing you got to get is I'm always playing, you see most guys playing finger style with slide.
Right.
And because you need all these hands to try to mute what's going on down here. So the first thing you got to I would say practice something like these are all over the neck with open A. So you got that action of muting those strings. And then you got one up here. But you're constantly muting strings. Your battle is really muting strings.
And you're going from the flat 7 to the 1.
Yeah, and but coming off of the 4 here, off of the B, the 5 here. No, to the flat 7. So B to B,
right.
and you got it up. Right, and you have it up here too. So that like Dwayne Allman lick that where he goes.
Right.
And that action right there is pretty much what you're looking to try to get. Is the thumb mute with strings that you're not playing. And then when you're playing these lower strings, you got to be muting these strings, the higher strings like that.
Wish I had my phone. I'd shoot some straight on video.
See, now I'm just kind of confused.
Yeah.
Play some blues and play some slide.
So do just an E. You want
it's fine. Oh.
Are we modulating?
My slide playing is nowhere near where I want it to be. I want it to be.
I don't do any slide. I'm telling you, because it's just never really worked out. I almost want to try the bar style, like over this way.
Well, that's why I was saying to you earlier. I mean, when you first put on a slide, if you don't have the foam insulation, first of all, it's all loosey-goosey.
Right.
Second of all, if you try to lean into it,
you wind up hitting the frets.
You get a weird action. You wind up hitting the frets.
Right.
I don't like the full fingered slide, so you can't, because that just feels bad to me.
Right.
I like to be able to put it over my knuckle, so here. So get you a piece of foam, and you wear it. I mean, and then if you can still play finger style a little bit.
And I'm sure the foam deadens the slide a little bit, so the slide doesn't vibrate.
Slide doesn't ring as much.
Right.
True. And if you, I mean, sometimes some guys want that clangy kind of. That's why if you get like a thin piece of metal, you get that clang. Some guys want that. I like a nice. I mean, which is fine. Different slides for different purposes. I'm sure in some guys' cases, but I just like a nice fat Jim Dunlop slide. This is they call it, I think, a half slide because it's the full one would go over your knuckle.
Right.
And it's the thickest one they have. I think it produces, a nice smooth tone. And it's so uncomfortable. Which has the point. It's so uncomfortable without that piece of foam in there that I think it turns a lot of slide players off.
Right.
But if you have the bar and you have that laydown slide like that, which I'm interested in trying too, they sell a stand-up guitar. It's not pedal steel. It's stand-up. One single coil in the bridge, $99. It's got the legs. It's got legs. It's on a tripod.
Right.
And I mean, talk about a nothing investment. Right. And there's a couple guys. If you Google it, a couple guys have some really cool modifications on that instrument. I don't know the type of it, but you'll see it everywhere. A musician's friend. So I mean, that's another interesting way that you could maybe play some slide.
Right.
I haven't, and then there's an open G and open D. I don't have any chops. I want to start getting my chops together on an open G slide. But
well, I know people that struggled with slide, and then someone said, "Well, you realize you're supposed to tune it to an open tuning," and they're like,
"Oh yes."
No.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
I said that was
like
the
an
first.
epiphany.
Yeah, that was the first revelation I think when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't find a slide that fit me comfortably, and you'd have to reset up another guitar. Now I just took this. I want a little bit higher of an action, but I still want to be able to play. I mean, you can still riff on, you know.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you have a couple of fingers to play rhythm with while somebody else, you know, but you should be able to, you know, doff and don a slide pretty quickly. If you keep some of these have an adhesive on one side when you're insulating an in-unit air condition, you know, an in-window air conditioner. Some of them have an adhesive on one side. So you can
just line the.
You can stick it in there.
I actually have the adhesive style because I've used it for the sealing up the ductwork a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can, and then you can use, if you have the adhesive version of these, which I haven't, you can use it to line a case if you need more padding.
Oh yeah.
You can stick it on your guitar and take another piece of tape and use it to hold picks.
Right.
Which is nice because you already have some room there to grab the pick.
Right.
It's suspended off of the guitar a little bit.
Right.
So there's a couple of other uses for it. But, I mean, without this...
Look at you, Martha Stewart.
My recipe for coconut cake is coming right up.
Yeah.
It's a manly metal coconut cake.
I love that sound.
It's great. It's so hard to get a sound like that with an amplifier in a room situation. Have you heard any of Jeff Cox's guitar tones lately?
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you using for an amp now? You were using the Vox for the longest time, but you got a Fuchs now,
I bought the Fuchs. I'm saying this is maybe the next video. You know, if I come down on a rainy day and I don't have my bike, I'm bringing my Fuchs down. We're gonna plug that. It's you can play on that goddamn amp with the master at like 2. You can do that, and you'll get sustain like that.
Right.
With, you know, you'll get sustain for days with this amp.
Right.
And it's just it's a ballsy. It'll do a lot. It won't do over the top metal, but it might, because I don't twist knobs all that well. Like if you bought that over to Zola's studio,
right,
and he could preamp it and EQ it properly, that would suddenly be a metal amp. But you can get so many different tones out of this amp, man.
Right.
I don't have the ears. I don't have the ears to be able to mic something up, send it through a board, EQ it properly, maybe even do a little bit of a preamping before that signal even goes to the amp. The guy down the street is pretty good. Let's face it. I think if I bought that amp to him, suddenly it would sound a lot better. If I was recording with it, or if I just bought all of my gear to him and said, "How would you tweak this?"
Right.
I think he could do a lot better.
Yeah. But he seems to have that stuff.
I like to play him. I really don't like to tinker too much with him.
You know, I'm a 50-50. I'll tinker with truss rod adjustment, changing pickups, but that's about it. Even maybe tuner changed, as long as the tuners were a direct replacement and didn't require filling in and changing the diameter.
When we worked at the music shop, you showed me how to change pickups. Don't be afraid, Rob. I'll show you how to change pickups. Look, it's pretty straightforward.
And that's when we had the fire. No.
I wish that'd have been
20
cool.
minutes later. Woo!
This was just basic. This was just basic pickup. This wasn't like coil cutting and all that, and all
Yeah,
this is basic.
I remember.
You know.
And
but I'm not going to go, like you said, I'm not going to attempt anything that he's done.
But you didn't work for them until we were out of the Rotary, right? You didn't start until we were at what became the ski place, right?
I didn't work for them when they were in that
in the Rotary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
when we were up the street in the much bigger location.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we liked Norwood better because there were better places to eat.
Oh, much better. It's even better now. What are you doing? We gonna go for lunch? We got time.
Oh, no.
All right, guys. That's my bro. We'll call him. Well, today you're Darryl.
I'm Darryl Lixxx.
Darryl Lixxx. And if you can't figure out Darryl Lixxx, I can't help you.